Hello and welcome to the Crookedrivercast. I am Robert, and the other voice you will hear is Tom, and we are two guys just trying to keep track of what's going on in the great state of Ohio. This is show 52. Holy cow, 52 for the week of March 16th, and cut way too much. I'll just stop babbling. Let's go. In the morning.
In the morning, Rob.
How's the morning for you?
It's good. It's a good morning.
I'm pretty pissed, actually.
Why are you pissed?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty disappointed, I guess. So maybe I'm not pissed. I'm just disappointed. I was really hoping to podcast on generator power.
Oh, I don't know if we really wanted that.
I mean, imagine the prepper cred I could have had. I mean, podcasting on generator power. Yeah, that was quite a shock. Yeah, a little windy yesterday, and we lost our power. Probably about 6 hours. So just about a couple hours after I had everything all set up with the generator and extension cords and everything, the power came back on. You know, I put my hopes in the worst run company in Ohio, and I got what it was up to. It's my fault, really. It's my fault. So yeah, a lot of people out yesterday, over 250,000 at one point.
Yeah. Is that a lot? I don't know. I've seen more.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, I know it's a lot of people, but when I was coming home from work, the neighborhood my shop is in didn't have power. I think there was a lot of people along the lake that didn't have any power.
Yeah, it was pretty widespread. We were keeping track of the map on the First Energy site, and it was a lot of little outages here and there. So I guess that makes it harder for them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But wow, what a week. Speaking of wind, driving to Columbus Friday with 70 mile an hour winds, quite interesting.
I'm whining because I went down to what is that? Midvale.
Oh,
I went to the gun range, on Monday, and I was crabby because I wasn't getting the gas mileage I should be getting.
Holy cow.
Felt the wind bumping me around even on that day.
I think it knocked me down about 5 miles per gallon.
I bet.
I was also doing, once you start getting over 75, it kind of kills your gas mileage anyway. But
I see that after like about 70.
Yeah. It starts to go down. Yeah. So doing 77 and at one point, I think I was I might have been even going downhill. It was definitely level ground on the freeway. And the wind was kicking so hard for so long, it actually slowed the truck down enough to kick it out of overdrive.
Get out, really?
Yes. Kicked it out overdrive.
That's when you turn it around and go, I'm going to make 40 miles to the gallon.
I know. I'm going to put a sail on this thing and see how many miles a gallon I can get. It was, and then on the way back, I went down there for a quick emergency run for a customer and did a quick turnaround and came back. And within, 15 minutes going north, it was a tipped over semi on 71 southbound. I was going northbound, and it blocked all three lanes. All three lanes. I mean, there's a lot of people that weren't going to be there. They weren't going to be going anywhere for a long time because you can't cross. There's a fence there at some point, and it was muddy there anyway. And I'm just looking at them going, damn, I think I left just early enough to not get caught in that crap. That would have sucked. You're pretty much just waiting for them to move the truck out of the way. That could be a couple hours.
Yep.
Horrible. Yeah, there's a lot of trucks tipping over. They actually pulled ours off the road because it was getting so bad. Especially you head out west, they had the turnpike shut down for a minute because it was so windy, especially out by Sandusky. It gets flat out there and the wind really whips up. But yeah, what a week, busy week. Not only that, I mean, added to would have been cool to have the cred of podcasting on generator power. It would have been, it's show 52. It's 1 year.
It's 1 year.
1 year. There, we have, I mean, it is the show birthday, right? I mean, today's 1 year and birthday of the show. I mean, the show was birth a year ago today, so we have to at least sing happy birthday. I mean, we're not going to sing it because that would be horrible, but I figured, what about Steel Panther?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go! Happy birthday, happy birthday. Go out, screw some girls.
Oh,
whoops. It's a It's your birthday. Happy birthday, bro.
So the show has permission to go out and meet some young ladies and eat some cake. So yeah, 1 year ago today, we started the show and still going. And we thank everybody for listening and giving us a year of your time or whatever, however long you've been listening, I guess. Let's see here. I guess we'll get right into it. Unfortunately, not too much celebrating because the first story is a little bit of a downer. So the Iranian update kind of updated this morning because what we found out was one of the updates was we did have some deaths, some U.S. soldiers, U.S. military deaths. One of them, they have 4 of them, or 6, I think at this point they're at now. 6 airmen in a refueling tanker crashed over Iraq. And I think it was like a mid-air collision or something. That's what kind of the initial reports that I read.
Really? Because
there were 2 planes involved, I heard.
Right.
Initially, but I haven't really heard any updates since then. And this story doesn't really say. Basically, 3 out of the 6 who died were from Ohio. The plane was from the Ohio National Guard, 121st Air Refueling Wing at Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base in Columbus, being deployed out at there, crashed following an unspecified incident involving a KC-135 refueling aircraft and another plane in a friendly airspace. The other plane landed safely, apparently. They were missing for a while, and I think they're pretty much confirmed all of them are dead, unfortunately. And thoughts and prayers to their families. It's freaking horrible, but when you put this many assets in the air and in play, this is kind of, unfortunately, the accidents that happen. And so that's the one update. A couple other ones, I guess we get into. I don't know if you've been paying much attention to this, Tom.
Yeah. What?
Iran, the whole Iran thing we're doing over there in Iran.
Not really.
So tankers being attacked in the Strait of Hormuz. So that's going to be an issue. This is as of last night. I did a couple of military channels that I've been starting to follow a little bit to get some quick updates. One of them is called, what's it called? The Enforcer. It's the 2 or 3 guys that do a live stream every day, except for 1 day a week, I think. Tankers kind of not taking the warning from, I guess, Iran's warning everybody it's closed, don't come through, or we'll bomb you. And a couple tankers went through, and a couple of them got hit by, where everybody's guessing, suicide boats, I think. 2 or 3 tankers. One of them, the video from one of them, it was the whole thing's ablaze and spilling oil everywhere, and it's ablaze and all that stuff. So that's going to be fun. Next, I think I heard there's the movement of an amphibious ready group from an Asian base somewhere in Asia, kind of Pacific area, over to the Middle East. Some are speculating possible Marine forces to secure the strait, but may land to secure that area. Might have ground troops. And U.S. has started hitting. Oh, this is kind of a big. They started hitting an island outside of. I think it's off the shores of Iran, called Kark Island, which is I guess one of their big areas where they export about 90% of their oil. And they started hitting that island, not the oil part, just the defenses on the island, the air base and stuff on the island. Many are saying that it might end up seeing them take out some of the oil ports and stuff there. So really take away any ability of Iran to export oil, which goes back to China and Russia. Lots of oil goes to China. Lots of oil. Again, videos out of China I've seen. I don't know how much you believe, but they're showing massive lines at gas stations because they're expecting a huge spike in gas prices, and people are trying to fill up before then, that kind of stuff. But again,
And those videos didn't look real to me.
yeah, a couple of them looked okay. A couple of them, people did community notes on, said it is from China, but how much do you know? I don't know, especially coming out of China. The video in itself coming in anywhere is a little bit sus nowadays. But and then lastly, this is interesting. China has sent over 2,000 fishing boats towards Taiwan in some of the Japanese islands, and they're doing some weird geometrical shapes. And apparently, China has it's almost like a fisherman's militia with their fisherman boats. Most intel shows that they're kind of a group that trains together. They do like these kind of things to act as like in an invasion of Taiwan, 2,000 or 3,000 boats flooding the area would be helpful for them, I guess, as some of the military experts are saying. So they've done this before, and they're doing it again now, which is, we'll see what that means. Most people are saying China's just saber rattling.
That's all they can do.
Yeah, that's all they can do. Pretty much right now, I think they're kind of this, little more trouble in China with Xi, and I'm not sure how much longer he lasts. Got to keep the people happy, otherwise communism fails, or at least the appearance of happiness. And then we want to get into the fact that Afghanistan and Pakistan are fighting too, so we won't even get into that part. That's all popping off as we get through it. I don't know. It's a sticky situation, as one would say. Anything to add to that?
No, I haven't paid attention. There's too much fog of war. You don't know what's going on. You just hope for the best.
Yeah, definitely true. It's hard to get news out of there, and it's who the hell knows who's bombing what. They're accusing Israel and America of bombing water filtration water, where they take the salt water and convert it to, I forget what they call it now. Anyway, they're claiming I've heard some people claiming United States and Israel is bombing them. And it's like, or is Iran bombing them? It's like, how do you know?
Does Iran have anything left?
As far as what, bombs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still shooting missiles and drones, shooting them down every day.
But they don't have any air or anything.
Oh, no,
like
they
that.
never did.
Yeah. Okay.
Never really did. Actually, interesting fact that I found out during this was we had sold them right before the Shah got overthrown in the 70s. We'd sold them a bunch of F-14 Tomcats.
Mm.
And when they retired the Tomcat, it was one of the few planes that they shredded, every single one of them, because they didn't want any parts to get out there for Iran to get. It was pretty interesting because that plane was like iconic. That's the Top Gun plane.
Mm.
The Tomcat with the swept wings. That's the plane. Right. They sold them. They sold them like 50 of them or something, and so they had to shred all of them, so no parts got out there. They're shooting missiles and drones every day. There's it's way less than it was, but they're still shooting some of them out. I think the biggest problem is this strait. Is nobody's. It's hard to. It's so narrow. It's hard to secure. You're going to have somebody on the ground there.
Now, did they really put mines there?
Nobody knows. Nobody thinks as of yet, but just the threat of them, just the threat of mines is enough to keep most ships out.
Yeah.
I think what they're mostly waiting for is they've got speed. They've shown this as propaganda too, but they've got, hundreds and hundreds of speedboats that basically just packing them with explosives. Now, the thing is, you may have hundreds and hundreds, 1,000 speedboats, but how many guys are you going to get to go on that suicide mission? They're all going to talk big game until they say, "Hey, get on the boat." And you're like, I can't swim. How do you drive this thing again?
Mm.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Out there, isn't that kind of like expected of you?
Oh yeah, but then it's all fun and games until someone says, "Strap on the vest."
I don't know. They seem to not mind.
Well, there's plenty of them, I'm sure. Yeah, but it's never as many as they initially think, because there's always some. I mean, come on, really. You got to be
70 virgins.
Yes. Yeah, man, those virgins are really disappointed when the Ayatollah showed up there. 90 years old. Like, oh, man. So, yeah, that's, making things a little interesting in the world, I guess. Speaking of interesting things, I'm hearing some people did some things in New York. Have you heard?
Oh, no.
What?
Wasn't it like 2 Pennsylvania teenagers?
Well, yeah, I think so.
Wasn't it a white supremacist?
Well, we'll find out because
Jake Lang.
Yes, the guy, the anti-Muslim protester who got attacked by pro-Muslim protesters. I guess I don't know what else. So protests at New York's mayor's mansion get a little out of hand, I guess is the story.
I don't know.
That's not really the story here.
I don't know. Zoran didn't say any of that.
Well,
he just said yesterday, white supremacist Jake Lang organized a protest outside Gracie Mansion rooted in bigotry and racism. Such hate has no place in New York City. It is an affront to our city's values and the unity that defines who we are. And then he went on and said that, a couple people
did some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made it sound like the white supremacists did something.
Yes. And the story to me, story really, again, isn't really the protest or anything else. Even it's all fun and games till someone throws a suspicious device. So to me, the story really is the headlines.
Oh, yeah.
And how it was played and how the media literally tripped over themselves. Not even a metaphor. They literally were tripping over themselves to sugarcoat this. And I think the best way to kind of wrap this all up is go to our friends at the Babylon Bee.
Hey, first go to CNN.
You want to do the CNN first?
Well, do you have?
I was going to talk about that. I was going to talk about that. Yeah. After I played the clip.
Or were you going to talk about what they actually reported?
What they tweeted, what they removed.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I have
Go
that.
ahead.
Yeah.
All
So let's hear what the way the Bee explains the headlines and how they do it in their own fashion. And then we'll save the worst for last, which is CNN, because they don't bring the CNN one up, I don't think, in this. So what the skit is, the president of the United States is in a meeting and the Secret Service gets gets a little notes on his radio in his ear, and he's trying to explain what is going on in New York City with headlines from mass media, the M5M, as they say. So let's hear what they said. This is pretty good.
Mr. President, we have a problem. U.S. authorities are investigating device thrown near Gracie Mansion.
What kind of device? Like an explosive?
2 in custody after suspicious device lit outside Gracie Mansion amid anti-Islam protest.
So the anti-Islam protesters lit a bomb?
I'm just conveying the news. These are actual news headlines, and they're quite clear, Mr. President.
I still don't know what the device
Quite
is
clear.
or who did it or why.
Let me clarify, sir. Explosive at NYC protest near Gracie Mansion posed serious risk. Police say.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Exactly. Homemade bomb thrown at protest near NYC mayor's house. Police say.
So the protesters threw the bomb?
Device hurled near NYC mayor's mansion was an IED that could have caused serious injury or death.
These are all headlines.
That's terrible, but you basically already said that. Who perpetrated the attack?
Well, police arrested several people after a smoke-generating suspicious device was thrown during a protest at Gracie Mansion.
So it wasn't a bomb? Never mind. Who did it?
One of the articles said they were Pennsylvania men, sir.
And?
They're from Bucks County.
I don't care where they lived. Who are they?
Their names are...
What? Speak up, son. I'm the president of the United States of America.
Pick up, son.
I said Emir and Ibrahim.
Oh, you could have just led with that. Explains everything. Honestly, I should have known it was Muslims. It's my fault, really.
Now, this is not the Bee.
Is that an update? What does it say?
Media forgets to mention that NYC bombers were Muslims inspired by ISIS. Politicians blame white supremacy.
Well, next time, just read me news from that site.
They're fake news, sir.
Oh.
Those are all headlines. Basically, all that the Secret Service guy was saying were all headlines. And that last one was, okay, the Babylon Bee's sister site, which is not the Bee, which they actually report not parody, right? Not parody news. It's actual news. But, of of course, like we said, not surprising. The worst of the worst was CNN. Who did they issue an apology? Did I hear?
Kind of.
So this is from a post that was clipped, screenshotted on Libs of TikTok on X, and the post is a screenshot of CNN X post of the article, and the post reads: 2 Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day, enjoying the city during abnormally warm weather. But in less than an hour, their lives would drastically change, as the pair would be arrested for throwing homemade bombs during an anti-Muslim protest outside of Mayor Zoran Mandami's home. Here's what we know so far. So Libs of TikTok said, she posted above it, Mohammed Atta boarded a plane on a September 11th, 2001 for what could have been a normal flight, enjoyed with his friendly skies. But his life would drastically change when he found himself in the cockpit of the plane right outside an NYC skyscraper. And then, of course, we have the Babylon Bee, who posts in their fashion. CNN reports on Japanese teenager who came to Hawaii for what could have been a beautiful day at the beach. Pearl Harbor. So check that out. It's a great read article. Thousands of heavily armed Japanophobic Americans had gathered in Hawaii. CNN correspondent Brian Stelter reports. That's a good one. I love the bee. So yeah, CNN, they took this down. They took this tweet down, and they took the article down, something like that. It's like so much going on. I don't know what to even look at anymore half the time. But not really surprising. Not too surprising.
No. It was so blatant, though. And people fall for this.
Yeah, I did watch I forget his name. I was going to clip him, but I already have too many clips. I watched kind of one of those stories where you see somebody who is young, college educated, and then kind of gets in the real world and starts to realize, wait, this doesn't make sense. And he's a young black. I'm assuming he's gay because he really sounds like he's gay, and that maybe that's horrible of me to assume, but he's pretty interesting. He was talking about all kinds of stuff like this in the media. He goes on. He did touch a little bit on this, but he actually touched a little bit on the next story, which is the SAVE Act. But when you start losing the gay black vote, you may want to look in the mirror a little bit. I don't know, for the Democrats, that is.
Yeah, they're never going to lose the white woman vote, liberal woman vote.
Mm. No, they will not. Well, no, they probably won't. You're right. So yeah, there was shenanigans, and they're still. I don't know. They're still looking into what these devices were. They can't tell. They can't tell if they were actually ever going to explode or not. But I don't think it really matters. They put what I think they went because fireworks are pretty easy to get in Pennsylvania, and I think they went to a fireworks store and bought some stuff that you could make a bomb out of it, I guess. But whether they did it successfully or not, but it doesn't really matter because what they did, they took a jar and filled it with an explosive of some sort and some nuts and bolts and screws, and that's a bomb, regardless of whether you screwed it up or not. It's still a bomb, or your intention was a bomb. 2 of them, he threw one over the head of. I mean, there's some great AI videos. Oh, it's so great of this kind of stuff. But he literally, I think there's a report. Somebody's got a video of one of the protesters talking about violence and sticking up for their side, I guess, while he literally chucks the bomb over her head as they're filming her. And then the next one, he grabs it from the other. Next one, he literally, as the cops ran at him, he literally dropped it like a grenade at the foot of the cops. And to the New York police, they handled it. And you see a very large policeman hurdling a barricade. It was quite interesting shot I saw. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Yeah, he was like, "Well, I didn't know they can move that fast." So, all right. Next, I guess we'll get into the meat of it because Trump says no more bills will be signed until the SAVE Act is passed. Yeah, and that's pretty much simple. That's so who's going to blink first?
Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they're not going to pass that.
No, I don't think it's ever going to pass. But why? What's the problem with it?
Stabbing the American public in the back.
What's the problem? Why? What's their big problem with the bill? What's the big problem with the bill?
Federal overreach, is it? I'm not sure.
Racism? Sexism?
Well, who are you talking about?
Well, the Democrats mainly who's blocking.
Well, I'm talking about the Republicans. What's their problem with the bill?
Yeah, good question. But I think the big obstacle is aren't the Democrats pushing their team literally when they're in the 75% of Democrats want this passed.
They don't have to do anything. They have constituents that don't pay attention.
The zombie class.
Yeah, pretty much.
The zombie class. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck Schumer says it's racist. So,
well, we all know what the Democrats think or what they're going to say. I want to know why the Republicans aren't doing it. Rand Paul's saying it's government overreach, and I'm like, how? We're not forcing anything. We're not telling you how to run your thing. We're just saying we want IDs.
Right, because in some states,
some states will arrest you if you show your ID.
Right, and that's not even we're not talking about the voting booths. We're talking about registration, right? Like you need to show proof of citizenship at registration. Is that one of them on the SAVE Act? Isn't that?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There's one in Ohio too that they're trying to get through, and I get them confused. They're very similar, but I think slightly different in some ways. Well, I don't know why the Republicans aren't doing it. I mean, other than, like I said, the Republicans are at times as bad or worse than Democrats, in my opinion.
Well, they're worse.
Yeah, because they tell you they're going to do all this stuff, and then they never do it. The Democrats actually get it done. It's just it scares the crap out of me when they tell me what they're going to do because they usually get it done.
Well, I don't know if they usually get it done, but they're willing to throw their power around.
Yes,
where the Republicans always kind of are. No, let's slow down.
Obama said he was going to fix healthcare, and he fixed it all right. And the Republicans said we're going to change it, and basically all we have is. That's the Republican Party, in my opinion. And then Rand Paul's what do you mean government? Yeah, what do you mean government overreach?
Well, he doesn't think the Fed should get involved with it. That's his issue.
So
that's his issue for everything.
Sure. So I understand that issue. I don't want a big federal government either. Well, the issue I see is when you have states. It's similar to the lawsuit they had for 2020 election. Texas had a lawsuit saying we're suing because your crappy laws are affecting us.
No, they were actually suing that they didn't follow their laws.
Right.
Pennsylvania and Georgia, was it? They were suing?
Pennsylvania was one, was the big one.
Right.
Because of their the way their statute is. They completely went around the people. They're saying your decisions or your skirting the law is affecting us because it's cheating in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I don't want the government. I don't want one big federal election. No. And that's not what this is. Not
right.
At all, actually.
I don't think so.
No, it's
but
not at
Rand
all.
Paul can't get that through his thick skull.
It's because of it's guidelines. Say everybody needs to show it. You have to prove you're a citizen in order to vote in the country you're in. How it's so horrible. And
what are we, the only country that doesn't do it?
One of the only developed country, I think.
Yeah,
or Western country or whatever you want to call it. I get the Republican part, but my part is you can't get 20, 30% of the Democrats. There's not even. I get
rid of the filibuster. That thing's a waste too.
Yeah, I was always kind of iffy about that.
If you want to filibuster, do it the real way. Stand there and actually debate for hours on end and show the people what you're actually thinking. This is bullshit. Filibuster. This is just no. We don't have 60 votes. Okay, we're done. There's no discussion. There's nothing.
Yeah, do you know the filibuster as it is now is just an agreement that they've made because they make their own rules.
Yeah, because they're lazy.
So it used to be you couldn't, as if somebody was speaking, you couldn't stop them.
Right.
That would be called. So you just keep speaking, delay the vote as much as you can, and try to do something to change it. And then they said, well, we don't really want to do that. And this was like 20, 30 years ago, maybe. It wasn't even that long ago. We don't really want to do that. And we're just going to be you just have to have 60 votes to get it through to a vote. A super majority or whatever you want to call it. We're going to make that the filibuster.
Right.
But I've always kind of looked at it like, oh, do you really want to get rid of that check and balance of the filibuster? For big legislation, do you want a super majority and all that stuff? And then I started looking into it this time. I'm like, oh, this is something they just came up with not too long ago. It's not this is a part of the Constitution. It's just BS rules that they put in place.
Well, they can still filibuster. If the Democrats really want to fight it, they can get up there and talk about it. Mm-hmm. But you know what? In my opinion, I think every congressman is afraid to do that because it's going to put him out in public's eye.
Oh yeah, they do. They go through great lengths to deflect all their power and any criticism to any. That's why the president has so much. There's so many things that land on the president's desk as far as executive orders and stuff because they're like, oh, or here we'll pass the law that the EPA can make the rules for. Because we don't actually want to get our hands dirty, but they do that all the time. They give it to the administrative part of the state and let them figure it out.
And this is why we have omnibus bills too, because nobody wants to put their name on anything.
Exactly.
And with a true filibuster where you got to get up there and debate and talk about it, you're putting your name on that. So now every constituent, when I'm just going to, when Pelosi, or it doesn't matter, I'm just using a name, Schumer gets up there and talks, everybody's going to know exactly what he's talking about. They're going to hear it. And now your constituents that actually want, 80% of your constituents want this, and you're fighting against it, you're going to look like a retard. And they can't have that.
And that's where I go with the narrative is, because if you had a small majority, a small portion of the Democrat voting, it would pass. We don't need that many. Right. You probably only need 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So, and the narrative is, and nobody's going to pressure the Democrats. Nobody, in my opinion, an honest Democrat, a blue dog Democrat, or whoever, if there's any of those left still voting Democrat, which I can't imagine there is, but they're not going to pressure because what they're hearing is it's racist, it's sexist, it's all this other stuff. And I mean, it's complete and utter crap because it is racist to think that black people can't get IDs.
I don't know if anybody actually thinks that anymore.
No?
Do they?
Well,
if they do, then I need to have a conversation with this retard.
As a matter of fact, let's listen. I have and this is actually not very recent. This is a clip from Ami Horowitz. Ami on the street talking about voter ID. I think this is like 5-6 years ago. And check it out. But I mean, still, and he asks, and he starts off in Berkeley. You may see a theme of who he actually gets to interview. And I would say most of them are women, and the ones that aren't women are pretty close to women.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote. Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us why.
Because they're
Almost
less
a white
likely
woman.
to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs
British.
that have been described or required.
Right.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can
Interesting.
get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it
good.
difficult
That's
for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like
This
they
is
don't
good.
have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones,
Not
but they might
racist
not have
at all.
data.
For most of the communities, they don't really
They
know
don't have data.
what is out there just because they're not aware or like they're not informed.
I also think there's a repression
Stupid.
of like black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, like
brilliant.
you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the like African Americans.
Wait. Wait, what'd you say? You say that the bulk of the black community in Florida are convicted felons? Is that what she said?
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the most racist people.
Yes. So there's Ami on the street talking in Berkeley, California, and it's not a surprise what you get in Berkeley, California. Right?
Notice who they spoke to mostly.
Yeah, mostly white women.
Well-
Or very close to white women.
I would say this
In a
is
British
very
state.
heavily edited.
Well, they always are.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't, videos like that they're fun to watch, but they're not real.
I mean, I'm sure he had some people that didn't think it was that way, but why put those in there? But he does talk to other people.
Okay.
He goes to New York, and he asks black people in New York.
Yeah, okay.
How they get it's the same thing, but hey,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes. Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID. So like we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. Like that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with.
In New York.
ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this? Some type of trick candy camera?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's at on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you have to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
Don't know how to use it.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods,
kids
whatever.
can use
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can access the internet?
Unlimited, baby,
I
she
use
says.
my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's what my thought process was.
I just think that's ignorant. Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I'm
Very,
hearing
very
a lot. Ignorant.
People are.
That's enough. You notice none of them said, well, that's racist. Now, Ami, later on in the video, Ami does, hey, do you think it's racist? And most of them are like, well, I guess maybe a little bit, mostly just ignorant. I'm like, no, it's totally freaking racist. It's completely and totally racist.
Yeah, and that's who the Democratic Party panders to.
And that's what you're hearing. Yes, exactly. And no one's going to call them on their BS. And because nobody, I don't know. Like, how do you not see that your politicians come out and say, well, black people, why you're going to the DMV, getting your ID or something like that? It's like, anywho. So there's that. So no more bills across President Trump's desk until the SAVE Act is passed. We'll see how far that goes. I hope they challenge him on it. I hope they they put some bill there is so good he has to pass it. But I doubt it. I doubt that's going to happen. Moving on to maybe the last state of the state from Mike Dewine. Mike Dewine has last state of the state the other day, and let's listen to a little bit from News Channel 3 on it and just get through it so we can get him out of here. But here's some interesting things in there of what he wants to work on and what he did and what he wants to see happen after he leaves. A couple of interesting examples, I guess he has in here. One of them, he compared. He's looking at East Cleveland as a model example of education reform. Which, okay, we'll see what he has to say about it.
Today, Ohio Governor Mike Dewine delivered his final State of the State address with a big focus on Ohio's kids and education. He highlighted the importance of reading and talked about new efforts to improve student health and attendance.
Thanks.
Our
Reading's
Danielle
important.
Wiggins
Thanks.
reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Mike Dewine.
In his final State of the State address as governor of Ohio,
I think every school can learn from East Cleveland.
Mike Dewine gave a major shout out to East Cleveland schools.
East Cleveland reduced chronic absenteeism by over 10% last year. And at the same time, reading proficiency among their third graders went up by more than 10%.
Using East Cleveland as an example, Dewine announced new steps to fight chronic absenteeism, defined as a student missing 10% or more of the school year. Starting April 15th, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce will launch a statewide dashboard tracking weekly attendance in every district. Dewine
Let's pause this for a second. Just so you know, just in context, yes, it did go down by 10%. So East Cleveland, according to Cleveland.com, East Cleveland City School District reduced chronic absenteeism, which is any student that misses more than 10% of their school days in a single year. According to Cranes, Cleveland, and Cleveland.com, this significant decrease from, that's what I said, what 10% of what? What does that mean? Well, yes, they did lower it by 10%, by 10 points, 10 percentage points, and they it went from 63.5% to 53.2%. So yes, they did go down 10%. There's still over 50% of the kids in the East Cleveland School District are what they consider chronically absent. So great work, but holy crap. 63%.
Long way to go.
Long freaking way to go. Long way to go. So we'll continue.
is also taking on big tech.
Big tech.
Excessive screen time is really a thief. Social media is a thief. All stealing from our children the most precious thing in life.
Time.
That is their time.
The governor asking lawmakers to enact legislation to help parents protect their kids. First, he wants new laws passed targeting child pornography created with artificial intelligence. He also wants tech companies held accountable for allowing AI to encourage or instruct people to harm themselves or others.
The Ohio Attorney General and county prosecutors must have clear legal tools to hold these tech companies criminally and civilly accountable.
Dewine wants cell phone and tech companies to add automatic parental controls, giving parents an easy way to monitor what their children are seeing and using online. And as he wrapped up his address,
may God bless America. God bless Ohio. OH.
The governor offering hope, saying Ohio's greatest days are ahead.
Hope. Hope. He offers hope. So he wants laws to help parents protect their kids from social media or the effects of tech or whatever. What have they done that ever has worked on that? Do you know of anything that they've ever enacted that's actually made an impact? And it doesn't have to be tech. It's just like anything else. It's like if the parent doesn't care, it doesn't really matter. If you have parents who pay attention, you don't need laws. What was the other thing? AI model. So one of the things I can say is they talk about holding tech companies accountable for the AI models that they have. So do you who should be responsible if a kid or even an adult kills himself because of the advice of an AI? Is there anybody liable other than the person who killed themselves?
At the moment, no.
Do you think there should be any? I'm trying to figure it out myself. I don't know. Feel like maybe, but also
I don't know.
Most of it should be on the person. Like just because a computer says to do it, I mean, it shouldn't get. But
I think it would be. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
there's some weird. There's some weird stuff.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That crosses so many gray areas. I'm not sure. And then how do you stop it? It's going to be
if the AI is convincing the person to kill themselves. I don't know. Shouldn't there be something?
Yeah, there should be some guardrails, but I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
I don't know, but
tech companies aren't just
hasn't some teenager already committed suicide because of AI telling them to?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yes. In Ohio, I'm pretty sure, actually. I don't think about it. I thought we talked about a story a while back. But been 52 episodes. I can't remember them all.
Yeah. I don't remember talking about that. But I remember reading about that. I just don't remember if it was in Ohio.
Could be that too. That's the other side effect. I read a lot of stories that we don't talk about, so I overlap, get them mixed together. But yes, I think there should be something on there. I just don't know how much liability a tech company has.
I don't know.
To somebody manipulating the AI to, because it's learning off of you, so it's kind of going to give you what you want.
It's learning off of everything.
Yeah, but it wants to give you what you want, and if that's where you're pushing it,
I don't know about that always.
I guess I'm maybe not, but I don't know how much control they can actually have. I think alerting somebody, some kind of, I don't know, but then where's the criteria? And it could be so misconstrued for.
We are entering a new frontier.
Yes. Is it Star Trek already? I don't think we're quite there yet, but like AI porn, he wants to put controls on regulations on tech companies and their AI making child porn. It's like, what? Again, I mean, they've tried to block child porn sites or have IDs for child porn sites in Ohio. And they're, like, well, the porn companies aren't listening.
Just porn sites, not child porn sites.
I mean, porn sites would.
Child porn sites are illegal already.
Well, most porn sites do have child porn on them, but that's kind of one of the things. And so how do you control that? You almost can't. Because I've seen articles out there as I'm reading that we don't talk about on the show. It's like, the companies don't listen. They're not putting up no kidding, really. So it's like when it can be out of the country and out of the state, how much control do you actually have? That's kind of what I was like. It feels like just a lot of talk, but of course it is Dewine. So why should I be surprised? And then automatic parental controls on phones and stuff. Okay, whatever.
Don't they sell phones? Like if you have a child in, let's say, grade school, and you want them to have a phone, don't they sell phones that are just kind of a phone, not much more?
They do.
Yeah. I mean, like, it sounds like instead of making laws, just let the market figure it out.
I mean, unfortunately, a lot of that relies on the parents. And if you have crappy parents, now you need bigger government, I guess.
I don't know if they're always crappy parents. It's just parents maybe unaware of certain things.
Sure. I'm not. Yeah. But at some level, that's where it falls onto.
The other thing is
government.
Kid. Yeah, of course. I agree. But the other thing is it's like kids are always going to find a way to do something that they're probably not supposed to do.
Exactly. Thank you for flushing that out, because I never got to. It's like you can put all these guardrails in, but the kids will find a way. They always do. And they're usually smarter than you at some level, especially with technology. It's very hard. I'm sure it can be done, but it's extremely hard to do. And probably while you're doing it, you're gonna screw up a whole bunch of other stuff for a bunch of other people.
Raise good kids, and hopefully they'll avoid some of that stuff.
If you hold your kids accountable and teach them right from wrong.
Well, that's true.
So that's where I get to the crappy parents.
Don't be their friend, be their parent.
Thank you. Thank you. I see way too many friends.
Oh, I see that all the time.
Wait, I see them all the time. Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I have one I know and I talk to on a regular, and I just have to go, okay, fine. So yeah, Dewine's out. That's the last state of the state. He's been term limited. So see how good term limits are, people. We need to put him in Congress in Washington too, not just the president. I think that's all. Yep. Okay, that's all. We'll go on to the next. Next, we have a little bit of the good old corner again this week. Hurry out, you little bastards. This week on the Critter Corner, we've got a few things. We've got, number one, we have the Ohio bail reform bill. This is kind of it's a good one. So they want to make some changes to the laws in Ohio for as far as bail goes, because we've seen some interesting events over the last year or so. This is a story from News Channel 5. It's our favorite Morgan Chow. So Ohio Republicans introducing a bill to, I thought I remember looking through it. They did not have a bill number yet to change some of the bail laws. Basically, let's hear what Morgan has to say right here.
Just 5 days after posting bail, Donnie Allen was arrested for allegedly shooting and killing a man at a Cleveland RTA stop. A woman named Holly, who spoke at the Ohio State House, was assaulted in the Cincinnati brawl that garnered nationwide attention last summer. She says the man arrested for punching her had been out on bail.
Injuries, the hospital visits, the fear. What makes this really hard to accept is this was preventable.
Huron Republican DJ Swearingen agrees, saying both of those crimes shouldn't have happened.
These low bail amounts or just bail in general can fail, and they fail because they don't adequately address that the individual receiving the bail shouldn't even be out in the first place.
He and Central Ohio Republican Jeff LaRae introduced a bill to change the bail system.
The legislation prohibits charitable bail organizations from posting bail for serious and violent offenses.
Under the bill, nonprofits like the Bail Project would be forbidden from paying bail over $5,000. The original bond for Allen, accused of the RTA shooting, was set at $15,000, but the judge reduced it to $5,000. The Bail Project paid 10% for his release. The organization's Jeremy Cheerson wouldn't comment on that case, but says the vast majority of people they've helped follow the law.
Anytime there's an unfortunate event, we're going to make sure that we understand what had taken place and take stock of what happened. But I would just point out that these are rare events. We shouldn't be legislating from the fringes.
Cheerson says cash bail can be discriminatory, where a wealthy defendant can pay their way out of jail versus someone with less money that can remain locked up waiting for trial.
It is not equal justice for all. It's only justice for the wealthy.
But the lawmakers argue that this would be select violent cases, ones that typically involve repeat offenders.
How much vetting do you do before you decide to pay somebody's bail?
Well, I would first point out that the judge is the person that has the greatest information about a case, about a person's history, and they make a decision to set bail. And then we do a careful assessment.
But more than just taking away the ability to pay, the bill also allows the Attorney General to appeal judges' decisions on bail if the state deems them too low.
The goal here is to allow the judges to identify key components to defendants that make them a threat to public safety. We're not trying to overreach or, micromanage them in any way.
At the Ohio State House, I'm Morgan Trout reporting.
So this bail project bails this guy out, and then 5 days later he goes and I think murders somebody at the RTA stop. It's an unfortunate event, he says.
Yeah.
Unfortunate event. Hey, you know what? At least he's taking stock and not responsibility. Taking stock, but not responsibility. Oh, we take stock in these things. Oh, great. Someone's dead. I'm glad you're taking stock in it because you let them out. And the same thing with the chick in Cincinnati. That was the one that J.D. Vance was commenting on. And 6 months ago or so. And yeah, that guy was out on bail. I bashed her face in. Geez. So there is something to be said about these groups, these nonprofits. And where's this money coming from? like to know. Kind of interesting. Where's this Ohio bail project? Where are they getting their money from?
Soros?
Maybe, but
no, I'm just kind of being hyperbolic.
Yeah. I mean, it's sometimes yes, but I'd like to see who's funding these because I mean, at one point out west in Seattle, it was Kamala Harris. So she was donating and
she was raising money and donating.
Yeah, she was promoting. Yeah. I don't know if she actually donated, but she was.
This is a good bill. As far as I can tell, it is. I mean, hopefully they don't screw it up because other states are like really kind of lost their way. How many people have been killed after somebody's been let out? How many times without bail in New York?
I mean, yeah, North Carolina.
Is it in North Carolina too?
What was that? Where did the Ukrainian chick get stabbed?
Oh yeah, that was North Carolina. I was thinking it was New York.
That was another one. There was probably one. I'm sure there's plenty in New York.
Oh yeah, there's a ton in New York.
I think there was a story about one in New York too that was recent. But I think that guy for Irina was, I mean, he had been out on bail and he had been arrested and let go many times. I don't know if it was necessarily a bail thing, but definitely light sentences. But it's even that, and some of the rest of the bill, more of the meat of it is they want to give the state attorney general ability to kind of peek their head and say, hey, are you sure you want to lower this bill? You want to lower this? Because the guy one of the examples is he had a $15,000 bond. They lowered it to $5,000. And then this bail project put in a 10%, which is $500. Is it because they didn't have $1,500? Is there something, does the judge know this is going to happen? That's why he's lowering the bail, that kind of stuff,
That's the other thing. We have activist judges in place that are doing, I don't know. Was this guy, I don't know enough, but I mean, like, it's not this isn't going to solve everything, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, we don't know in this case if that was the reason, but I'm sure with some of the other decisions we've heard over the years from judges, there's activist judges. It's just that's a thing, unfortunately. So I don't know. I definitely think there's some problems with it. I get what he's saying though. I mean, he makes the guy from the bail project makes a good point on the it's a class thing. It's the rich have plenty of money to post for bail, but a lot of people
I don't have an issue if somebody doesn't have prior,
right?
But if somebody's kind of been in and out of the system, and you're letting them off with like a real low bail, or through this organization putting up the bail, that's kind of messed up, man.
So this Donnie Allen guy, do you see the picture of him? He's in the article. He's in the article. He's just scroll down. Yeah. He's a screenshot of one of the things. I
have it on the reader right now.
Don't judge a book by its cover and all that, but it gives me the chills. He gives me the chills. He looks like he's just a little. Yeah. He's got a chip on his shoulder for the world, and he. I don't know how much vetting do they do. I don't trust they do enough. There's no way. So, yeah, 5 days after they posted bail, he's now alleged of shooting and killing a man at RTA, Cleveland RTA, in December. And they're like, well, we agree that neither of these things should have happened. That's what Swearingen said.
I see the guy's picture. I'm not going to judge a book by its cover.
No,
but I'll say guilty.
But it gives me a pause to say, you look in someone's eyes, man. You look in someone's eyes, you can see a lot. Sorry. You can see a lot. Swearingen. I can't, that name, that's from a show. Deadwood. One of the characters in Deadwood, Swearingen. I don't know if it's spelled the same, but that's what it sounds like. So yeah, he agrees that both of these crimes should not have happened. Or is that, maybe I'm getting the guys mixed up. Whatever. Swearingen. It got me all messed up. Anyway, so yeah, we got bail reform. Let's see. They don't have a bill number yet, so I don't think, at least not in the article, there's no bail.
No, I don't see it.
And I didn't have time to poke any farther into it, but we'll keep an eye on it. Which might mean they were just talking about it, haven't really put anything forward.
It says there's a bill introduced by Ohio, so there has to be a number.
So, hey, great reporting, Morgan. Thanks. Appreciate that. slight details that would be helpful.
Yeah.
But well, I'm sorry. Am I expecting too much? Next is
I'll give something up to Morgan on X. She I just saw it this morning. Somebody took one of her stories and was kind of put their own logo on it.
Yes.
And did you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
the
they
Houston story.
Yeah. And she called them out on it, and because they were trying to railroad Houston, and she called them out on that. So
yeah, they blurred out the ABC. You could still see it was 5, but they blurred out the whole lower chyron, or whatever they call it, the lower third or whatever. And she called them out on it. It was pretty funny. I mean, other than it quickly devolved into complete and utter trash in the comments quickly. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't see that. No. Against her?
Well, not against Houston, and of course Trump came in, and Epstein, and you know, I'm sure
of course.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh gosh, click, I'm out, I'm done. So next would be an actual bill, SB 63, which I hope this doesn't just put everybody to sleep, but they want to ban ranked choice voting. And I had to go, I've heard of it before, but I had to get a refresher on what ranked choice voting is. And it's ranked, but it definitely smells rank to me.
It is rank.
And I did watch a short video, again, didn't clip because I didn't want to do that to our listeners, and didn't have time. But basically, you get to pick your first choice, your second choice, your third choice, and your fourth choice.
Well, there could be up to 8.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, like, it doesn't matter how many there are. You could just
you
pick
rank
them in
your choices.
order.
You rank your choices. Yeah. So it's kind of.
And if your number 1 doesn't get in
more than 50%,
then you have to get by 50%, and then the person that came. How does it work exactly?
The lowest vote getter gets eliminated, and here's where the problem lies for me.
Right,
their votes get distributed throughout the rest of the candidates. Like what?
Right. You're right. Well, no, it goes to the person.
That's where I saw it explained that they evenly distribute the votes to the people left over. And I could be wrong. This was a PBS video that I was watching this morning, actually. So I could be off on that, but that's the way I saw it. It gets distributed. What did you think? It gets given to the. I don't know.
I thought part of I didn't think it goes like that. I thought they're still taking the rank votes and redistributing votes. After somebody got kicked out, they're redistributing the votes, not evenly from the person that got kicked out, but they're taking their votes. And this is the problem. This is the hard part, where they say part of the problem of ranked choice voting is that it could take too long to count the votes.
Yes.
So if there are a lot of candidates, and there's, you keep dropping one out, and then you have to redistribute the votes according to the ranked, how they were ranked. So it's kind of, it gets really, with more than like 3 people, with more than 3 or 4 people running, it can get really hairy, I would think.
Yes. And it's like, okay, everybody got their third choice. Yay.
That is the issue. And the other issue is you really, really have to be aware of each person running and what they stand for, which is part of the problem, even with regular voting, right? I mean, if you ask me, I think you take the D and the R and the I guess, off, and that's how you vote for the candidates. You just take the party affiliation off. That way, I think the person, whoever's voting has to really kind of understand what each person stands for, instead of just going in and voting for the D or for the R.
Well, they would at least have to know who the R or the D is before they go in there, or otherwise, I mean,
well, they would have to. Okay, yeah, but
you
they would
see a yard sign that says "Vote for me, I'm a Democrat." You could just go in there and vote, or Republic, whatever. You could find out that way. Is my point. They don't necessarily. But I see it is at least they have to do a little bit of research to figure out who to vote for, and not just go in there and go all R,
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not just going down the ballot and picking all D's and all R's. This would even be 10 times harder because how are you going to rank people?
People won't look at 2 candidates. Are they really going to research 4 or 5? No.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
No. So then after you get to 1 to 2, then what's your third choice? I'll just wing it, shoot from the hip. This guy's name looks good, and then the fourth one would be this guy's name looks a little bit less. So I'll put,
But again, would they just be picking the R or the D? You know what I mean?
True.
So I don't know. I have issues with that too. The party affiliations on the ballot.
Yeah, I'd say take them off the ballot completely.
I agree. Yeah.
And a lot of times I can't remember what. In a lot of cases when I vote, especially for judges, there's no party affiliation. There's something in there that has no party affiliation. I thought it was some sort of judges.
Judges. Mostly, I think.
Yeah.
Because I had to actually go and do some research on the judges, and it was pretty easy to figure out who was a conservative or who was a liberal, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to do research, which is what I think everybody should do on every candidate.
And that's what I get to those and I go, well, I'm not sure. Am I supposed to just guess? No, I just don't. I don't fill in that oval because how am I going to vote for somebody? What's more irresponsible, not voting or voting for somebody you don't know who it is? So that, to your point, that would makes me want to go next. Oh crap! Next time I got to remember to look online. Use that supercomputer in my pocket, or on my desk to do some research. You Dumas, lazy voter, come on, man! And I smack myself a couple times.
Ranked choice voting is just 100 times worse than that, and it hasn't had good results in what is it, Alaska?
There's 60 jurisdictions they say that have it in this clip that I saw, which is nothing because there's 1,000 more jurisdictions in the country, I think.
Right.
Way more than that, I think. They're banned that, and it is. Wait a minute. Now, did it? Where did it go? There it is. So it is a bill. They're going to pass it. I think it's going to pass. I think the Republicans will vote for it, and they have a majority, so I think it'll go through. And it'll get challenged, and they'll have a court battle, and the lawyers will win. Next is a little bit more of an interesting bill that I didn't know was a problem, and apparently it is. So SB 323 would, this Ohio Senate bill would authorize natural organic reduction for humans after death. That was a term I've never heard before. Also called human composting or terramation. A process through which human remains are naturally converted into soil. So they want to.
Hey, Dave, those tomatoes are great.
Exactly.
Oh, thanks. That's Edith's remains compost used as compost.
So I think they have. There's a bunch of states that do it that allow it now. I thought they had 14 states.
Yeah,
Washington was the first. Figures hippies to legalize this in 2019. That's very recent. So it's a very new problem, and it's not.
I don't know if it's a problem. I think it's just
a matter of choice.
Yeah, people are just want it. Yeah.
But it's not like you're getting permission to bury your grandma in the backyard. No. There's an actual process where you give it's like similar cremation where they put your body in a container with some other organic materials.
Mm-hmm.
And then
a compost bin,
a human compost bin, basically. And you check out the story on the website. You'll see it's quite interesting. And they occasionally turn you until you turn into soil. And in a lot of states, they have laws on where you're allowed to put that soil. You can't just put it anywhere. So and they bring up in the video, in the news story. Well, because if somebody had chemotherapy treatment, somebody was a drug addict and died of drug overdose. That's all that's in there, and you don't want that. You don't want those radioactive remains to be growing your food. And I was like, well, that's quite interesting. I never thought about that. I'll talk about the whole creepy human remains part, let alone
if they were all coked up, man, my tomatoes would grow great.
Yeah, you'd have tomatoes by what? End of June? Come on, I'm ready. Let's go.
Tomatoes are scratching themselves. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I need another bump. Need another bump. So yeah, that's and of course, there's people don't like it because the Catholic Church says you can only do it two ways, and I'm like, what?
Oh, is you know what? I didn't. Was that in the article?
It was in the news story that I listened to. I thought it was in the article too. Usually,
I missed that.
Yeah, but
Catholic Church doesn't want anything.
Well, they don't want.
It is dust to dust, though, right?
Yeah, dust to dust, and they say it's either a burial or cremation. But I mean, whatever. Then you don't have to do it.
Well, the church didn't allow cremation for the longest time, right? Catholic Church.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't think
you're right.
Yeah, I don't think they allowed that. I don't even know if they allow it now. Tell you the truth.
I thought it mentioned in there that they only support burial or cremation, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
It doesn't say in here. But anyway, moving on. So dust to dust or natural organic reduction. It's in a prayer, you got to go with dust to dust because it just doesn't. The natural organic reduction does not flow. It's like dust to dust does. Yep.
Honey, I'll grow you some great zucchini.
Yeah, exactly.
After death.
After I'm dead. Yeah, don't mention this to your dad. I think he would probably take you up on it. Just thinking that, like, yes, put me in the garden. I want to be in my garden. Next, the critter corner would be, did we mention this before? I think we have HB 182, which is a bill proposed that would ban fluoride in Ohio water. Pretty sure we had talked about this. I guess this bill is moving. Is it moving forward, or they just have another story on it? I didn't. I don't remember
I thought it was
last time. Last time we talked about where was that in the process, but I thought we can listen to a clip from news channel Fox 8 rather, and sometimes for me, what sticks out is what's left out, and let's listen to what's left out of this story. So basically, going back and forth, fluoride and good or not good, and
it's something most people never think about, their water running from their kitchen faucet. But at the Ohio State House, lawmakers are debating whether a key ingredient should be removed entirely. House Bill 182 would ban public water systems from adding fluoride to drinking water statewide. The bill was introduced by Republican Representative Levi Dean. In an interview with Fox 8 last April, he said the issue comes down to personal freedom.
This is not really necessarily about fluoride, in my opinion. It's about people having the choice to choose what type of things they're ingesting and not being forced on them by the government or by their neighbor.
Supporters testified before the Ohio House Natural Resources Committee last week, arguing the decades-old practice raises health concerns and removes individual choice. But many dentists and public health experts strongly disagree.
Fluoride was added to water because it produced a tremendous effect in reducing decay in some of our most vulnerable populations.
Did it really?
Community water fluoridation is widely known as one of the most successful public health achievements of the 20th century, significantly reducing tooth decay, especially for people in communities where dental care is not always available.
If fluoride were to be removed, then definitely everybody would have to step up their game because fluoride is one of the most effective measures that we have in our toolbox.
Organizations like the American Dental Association say fluoridated water significantly reduces tooth decay, reaching millions of people every day, including children and families who may not brush regularly or visit a dentist.
They could add it themselves. Secondly, local governments will still have the leftover reserves.
If the bill moves forward, critics warn the state could see more cavities, higher dental costs, and widening health gaps. Jennifer Jordan, Fox 8 News.
The sky is falling, Tom, if they take fluoride out of the water. I have a question that nobody brings up. First of all, the proponents say there's some health concerns. Can you maybe elaborate on some of what they say the health concerns are? Maybe the maybe some of the people in the federal government are now talking about some of the health effects of fluoride in the water, some of the studies that have been out there about fluoride in the water. But how many people nowadays actually fill up a glass out of their tap and drink it? I think it's more than half the people still drink water out of the tap. I don't know.
Yeah. Easy.
I don't
either, but I
know a lot of people don't. Most people drink
think
bottled water. Not most people. A lot of people drink bottled water.
I think if again, that's the community you're in. I don't think most people are, though.
Every office has a filter. Every refrigerator has a filter on it. Are they filtering fluoride? Maybe not, but
I don't know. I mean, the guys I work with, most of them don't drink bottled water.
Yeah,
they'll get it out of the tap.
Most of them probably don't drink enough water anyway. So,
well, most people don't.
I don't at all. So that's part of that. Is like, well, there's less and less people all the time that drink, I think, water out of the tap. That's one thing. And what is swallowing a glass full of water with fluoride helping you in your stomach? And I always bring up to people, like, when you go to the dentist and they put the fluoride treatment on, they don't say rinse and swallow. They say rinse and spit. You have to spit. Yeah. Make sure you spit it all out. Rinse it very good. I can't imagine.
Well, fluoride's a byproduct that they didn't know what to do with until they figured out they can sell it to.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any studies that show what kind of effect it had on dental? On teeth in America?
You know what? It probably did lower the cavity thing, but people are, do better job at hygiene. So it's probably a couple of reasons.
I think there's way more advanced in hygiene than it is fluoride.
Right. Well, okay, yes, I agree.
Fluoride in your toothpaste.
Well, it's funny. You can buy toothpaste without fluoride.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah,
you can buy. And it's funny. I think they sell water for babies with fluoride, which is insane.
Yeah.
And there's studies also showing that IQ levels in places with higher fluoride, ppm, what is that, parts per million in their water, with a higher level of fluoride in their water, the IQ levels are lower by average.
Yes, and it not necessarily mean it's the cause of fluoride, but it's the start of, hey, let's look into this a little further, maybe. Let's do some studies, but no, they're not going to. And I'd like to see the studies that show that fluoride, they can see that. I don't know how you would point that out, but because I think at the same time they were putting fluoride in the water is when we had a large increase in the in hygiene for dental hygiene and dental technology. It kind of happened at the same time, so it's like, but we'll see.
Yeah, I just don't know why it needs to be in our water at all. Yeah. I mean, if your argument is cavities, then you can just buy a bottle of some kind of fluoride thing and rinse your mouth out, or add it to your own water.
Yeah, I mean, you could drop it in your own water, and you can. I'm sure the inside of your stomach is going to enjoy all the fluoride and help the cavities in your tummy. Because I don't think washing it over for half a second does anything, in my opinion. But hey, I'm not a scientist, and I did not stay at Holiday Inn Express last night. Do you think this will pass?
It depends what the feds do, right?
Sure,
it depends. It depends if Robert Kennedy gets it passed.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to pass that. I think it's more of a chance to pass Ohio, which I just don't think it would. But I think it's even less to pass federal.
Yeah. Depends what the lobbyists are paying.
Yeah. That, and you would be pointed to as crazy and a conspiracy theorist and a loon.
I don't know, actually. I think a while ago you would have been, but now maybe I don't know.
Maybe to a lesser degree, yeah. I think you're probably right.
I just don't get the people that really want to live a clean health lifestyle, that how they can sit there and say this is good.
They drink bottled water.
Yeah.
But how could they be for fluoride in the water? I'm sure there's plenty of them that are. It always occurred to me that we know some people that were very anti-dye and anti that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I to the point where I was like, yeah, whatever. 15 years ago, whatever. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, blah blah blah. And now I'm kind of on board with that. Like, yeah, that was probably a good idea to point that out. You think those kind of people are okay with fluoride in the water?
I think they're going to be against whatever the Republicans want. So it doesn't matter.
Well, they're going to trust the science when of course. So, whatever. I don't think it'll pass, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get some. You just have the choice. Well, why do I have to be forced to have that crap in my water? My dog, at least my dog drinks it. Let's see how. She's a little stupid, so maybe that's the problem. I got to filter her water too. Smarten her up a little bit. Next is staying on water. Here's a story we had talked about maybe a little bit. H2 Ohio could be on the ballot. One of the things that Dewine talked about, I think in the State of the State, was this H2 Ohio program that he's put in place. And my only question is, what is H2 Ohio? And H2 Ohio is a comprehensive, data-driven initiative launched by Governor Mike Dewine. So automatically, I don't like it. So Mike Dewine in 2019 to improve water quality throughout Ohio. Okay, it addresses threats like harmful algae blooms, pollution, and unsafe drinking water through agricultural nutrient management, wetland restoration, infrastructure improvement, and conservation efforts. Blah, 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 to the tune of $270 million is what Dewine wants for this program. What does it do? So it's a pot of money to give to people to improve infrastructure, improve conservation efforts. Is very vague, of course. But he had it in the budget, and the Republicans shot it. They cut it in half. Cut it to like cuts total about 40% of the H2 Ohio funds, according to the budget data. So he still got most of it in there. He wants to put it on the ballot to have it as a permanent thing. Let's listen to maybe a little bit from the idea stream.
Governor Mike DeWine says he wants to get a bond issue before voters this November to secure long-term funding for H2 Ohio. DeWine says he's not sure to what extent the next governor will back or fund H2 Ohio's efforts on Lake Erie and elsewhere. But researchers tell him the full results will continue to take time. House Speaker Matt Huffman, a Republican, threw cold water on the bond issue idea, saying he didn't see it moving in his chamber. Here's DeWine.
Well, he hadn't told me that, so we will see. H2 Ohio has been very, very successful.
DeWine wouldn't set a dollar figure on the issue, but his budget request was for $270 million last year. Lawmakers gutted that, passing cuts of about 40% of the program across its agencies. Sarah Donaldson at the Ohio Public Radio State House News Bureau.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what she sounded like.
Come on, Sarah.
Wow. So I was like, I keep forgetting to pull that Ring clip. So that's from the Ring.
I'm trying to sound smarter.
I know. I was talking to my wife last night. I said, why do you do that? I think she does it because she thinks it makes her sound smarter when she does this. She goes, does it? I go, I don't think it does, but apparently she does. Yeah. So I don't know. He wants this ballot initiative, and I don't know. It's just, I don't like it. It smells fishy to me. It smells just like a slush fund for Dewine when he gets out of office. I don't know. No idea, but I don't know. It's too vague. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with the $270 million? What are you going to do with the $200 million?
It's kind of like if it was just for not 270 million, but if it was a bill just for wetlands, I'd kind of be like, okay, at least we know what the game plan is here. But this is, you're right. This is just way too vague.
Yet another. This is not the only one. They had this all the time. It's a big chunk of money allocated for what this would be not a group, but a program, and the people appointed to that program get to pick where the money goes. What could go wrong?
This could probably be like 5 different bills.
Yeah,
if they really wanted to do something.
Yeah. Let's run it through. And no, it's like an omnibus bill. Just give us this chunk of money. I'll tell you what we did with it later. Trust us.
It's kind of like, just give us the money and, well, we know better than you.
Exactly. So we'll see how far that goes. Dewine, again, wants to put something on the ballot and get it passed. So I'm sure if he gets it on the ballot, people will go, I've got to vote for the wetlands. Let's see here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what exactly, Yeah. Trick them into voting for it.
Yeah, it's about the environment in heaven. Okay. So that's that. I think, let us know what you've heard in this Critter Corner. Shoot us an email, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Send us your opinion on the kind of the stories in your area. Maybe there's some boots on the ground reporting. Actually got one. I don't know if you saw that email from.
Sarah Donaldson's got some huge knockers.
Whoa!
I wonder if when she talks like this, if they like reverberate and bounce around.
I mean that comes from the chest. I mean, no, mine don't. But mine don't reverberate, but hers might. Oh, it's just chest. What's testing? Where was it? crookedrivercast.com. Go check out the blog. Every Monday morning when the show drops, the blog drops, and you can follow along to the stories that we're listening or reading, and a lot of the videos and clips that we have will be up there. And tell us what your opinion on it is. I don't know if you saw, we got another listener email this morning, giving us some heads up on some stories and stuff that's going on in the area and some of their feedback. So we'll have to check that out. That was pretty nice. And, let us know. Find me on X. I'd love to hear from you if you can find me. Me love cookie. Send me a message. And we thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. All right, next on our list of stories this week is, we're going to touch a little bit on the First Energy. There's a little First Energy update, and I almost pulled the story from the list, but I figured, it actually mentions it in the clip, so we'll just run it. There has been a update. The judge has dismissed some of the the money laundering charges in the case. And let's listen to, this is WKYC Channel 3.
Some breaking news right now. 3 News has learned within the last half hour that money laundering charges have been dropped against 2 former First Energy executives facing trial in a state bribery case. Summit County Judge Susan Baker Ross issued a ruling today that dropped those money laundering counts each against Charles Jones and Michael Dowling because of a lack of evidence. That is according to court documents. The 2, though, are still facing several other charges, including bribery, conspiracy, and aggravated theft. This comes as Senator John Husted is set to testify for the defense in the case tomorrow morning. We'll continue to follow this, and we'll bring you updates as soon as we get them.
I think we'll touch very quickly on this, just that there's an update. They pulled some of the charges according to the judge for lack of evidence, and they saw the bribery stuff. And as they mentioned, I think we'll talk. The story that you mentioned about Morgan was about Husted and him testifying on the stand for the defense. That happened a couple of days ago. We're going to dig more into it over the week and talk about it next week on the next show. But right now, that's the update. Husted did testify, and I didn't see. I mean, I looked a little bit, and there was no big story, no big bombshell or anything.
No,
more of the same. Just. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot there for his testify, but we'll look into it further. But right now, that's the update on the First Energy trial, I guess. No lack of evidence, so they dropped the charges. Okay. And moving on to our, just an always lovely topic. Hey, abortions in Ohio increased by over 15% in 2025. So let's let the kids say, shut up, kids. Shut up, kids. In 2025, including many out-of-state patients. Oh, great. Let's listen to the idea stream. I mean, such glee. They have such glee from an increase of baby killings.
Ohio's new abortion report shows more than 25,000 abortions were performed last year.
Oh.
That's an increase of more than 3,300 over 2024, a 15% jump. And it's the highest number since voters passed the Reproductive Rights Amendment in 2023. The abortion totals dropped in 2022 when the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the landmark Roe decision and state laws on the books banned it. But in 2023, Ohioans passed a reproductive rights amendment. Abortion Forward Deputy Director Jamie Miracle says these numbers show women have access.
Because this means that people are getting access to the care they need.
It's a tragedy, and it's almost a historic tragedy.
That's Mike Ganadakis, Executive Director of Ohio Right to Life. He says it's alarming that Black women got 49% of the abortions, though they make up about 13% of the state's population. Joe Ingles at the Ohio Public Radio State House News Bureau.
Finally, something that is actually racist, Planned Parenthood. Finally.
Oh, yeah. The eugenics program is working.
Margaret Sanger, genius. So yay, there's been more abortions, 15% increase from 2024. Yay. Not much more to say to that, but I
got to say, though, I kind of looked up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1980, there were 67,000. In 1981, there was 60,000. 82, there was 60,000. I'm just rounding.
Abortions?
Yeah.
Okay.
And throughout the 80s, it averaged mostly in the 50,000 range, 50 to 60,000 range. In the 90s, it went down to 35,000 to 45,000. And then in the early 2000s, it was 25 to 35,000.
Mm-hmm.
2010, there was around 25 to 30,000. And then it started dropping for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're climbing back up mainly because of what legislation has been doing.
Yeah, I think you're going to point out, so you're getting some out of state. 20% of abortion patients were from outside the state in 2025. Right. It's a 21% actually almost. So that's the increase. That's a big increase. So yay, Ohio is
it's a big increase, but it's still about a third of what it used to be in the 80s.
Yeah, which is good. Which is great.
Yeah.
That's awesome news. Thanks for pulling me back from the edge. Appreciate it.
No, I had to look that up because I was like,
good
because
news,
I'm not.
You're not an extremist like me.
Well, no, I'm kind of like I'm kind of like a 90s or even 80s. It should be legal but rare, safe, legal, and rare. Isn't that what we kind of grew up with?
Mm-hmm.
We did. It should be rare, right? That I'm.
Yes.
I'm not gonna. I don't think it should be banned. But anyways, it's ridiculous when they're doing abortion pills over the phone, basically.
Oh yeah, and bring us right into our next story.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They're kind of connected. There's not much to say about this. The abortions increase mainly from out of state, we think, and great point bringing up. Thanks for the research because it's a third of what it used to be. So. That's great.
And I think that's mostly education and better access to contraception.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. But now the next tie-in story to this is major abortion provider, which is Planned Parenthood in Ohio, to expand services via telehealth. Abortions by phone. What a great concept. I mean, exit strategy, anyone? Come on. I mean, I think, where's the app? Is there going to be an app next? Let's see. Let's check this one.
Hey, you trying to give them ideas?
Yeah. I mean, come on. They think they haven't already had one. That's already in the works, guaranteed. Let's listen to Idea Stream's short little report about this. And really, I mean, some serious problems here about access to abortions.
59% of the more than 25,000 abortions that were provided in Ohio last year were medication-induced.
60%.
There could be more abortions provided that way in the future with the help of telehealth. Planned Parenthood of Greater Ohio president and CEO Erica Wilson-Domer says her organization has already been using telehealth to prescribe birth control and other health services. Now, she says they'll start doing medication abortions that way.
We understand that people struggle with access, transportation barriers, childcare barriers, people have jobs. And often people want to be able to control when they're able to, receive their abortion care. And so telemedicine access it opens up that access for people.
A 2021 state law bans abortion medication via telehealth, but a legal challenge to that law has blocked it. Some Republican state lawmakers are sponsoring a similar bill, but there are questions about its constitutionality under the Reproductive Rights Amendment voters approved in 2023. Joe Ingles at the Ohio Public Radio Statehouse News Bureau.
Aw, is your job getting in the way of you killing your baby? Oh, how about an app? So yeah, they're going to do telehealth now. You just call up, say I'm pregnant, and they say go pick up the pill, and you're done.
I thought the pill. I thought it was like a morning after pill. Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, that's the drug
really,
induced.
though. It's not though.
No, it's not.
It's
only
up to
the morning
7
after.
weeks,
Yes.
man. That's messed up, man.
Yeah, and if you ever known a woman to go through a miscarriage, that's basically what they have, right?
Yeah. No, it's gross, but this is terrible.
Yep. It's terrible that 60% of the abortions in Ohio are via medically induced. So the barrier is even low. You don't have to go through a surgery. You don't have to go through. You don't have to see a doctor now. You can do it right from your house. You just get online, say hi. It's like just like having a cold and getting penicillin. You just go right to the pharmacy, give it a pill, and then the baby falls out a couple days later.
Got a question.
Or some bloody clot stuff falls out.
Bloody clot.
Yes. What?
Okay, you have a daughter that's in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, I remember, I think it was it was even 11th grade. I would think throughout my high school years, I remember seeing about 4 or 5 girls that ended up pregnant, or carrying their baby in school. And I knew 2, at least, there might have been one. I'm trying to remember if there was one more that got abortions. Is that, are kids seeing Are girls getting pregnant like they used to? I mean, I don't know. I graduated in 89, so I'm just wondering what it's like now.
I don't see any of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know. My limited view of my daughter's school, in Mass, I don't go to large events with lots of people there. I see her when they walk out. I don't see any pregnant girls walking out of school when I pick her up. I don't hear about anybody getting pregnant. Again, this is a Catholic school, so you're going to see even less of that there than you see in public school. I don't know. I don't think I'm a good example. I'm not.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah,
because I know I don't know, but I think kids aren't hooking up like they used to. I think the 80s was peak period for that. Right.
I think you're right. I also think though that it's more extremes than now, maybe. Like you have kids who all they do is hook up. And then
okay,
it's
like a total slut. And yeah. Okay.
Maybe it's more of the extremes and not as much of the middle ground. Maybe that's
right.
I don't know what it feels like to me, but I don't know where I'm getting that from. Just
because
my experience in society alone, in general, I think.
Right. Because in my days, I know everybody wasn't, but it seemed like most kids were kind of hooking up in their 10th, 11th. 12th grade years, and it was all that rock and roll music, Rob.
Definitely, it was all that Satan music you were listening to.
It was all that hair band stuff. It was all about partying and effing and.
Happy birthday! Go out and meet some girls and eat some cake. That's what he says. Of course, he says screw some girls and eat some cake. But So I don't know. I think you're on to something maybe. But I think it's like you said. I think there's more extremes. You have the I think the growing majority of kids who are getting more conservative, and then you have maybe even I don't know if it's a shrinking number or whatever, but maybe it's just more of the extremes and less of the middle.
It could be, yeah.
Just like everything else in the world nowadays.
There is a trend that young men are going to the church.
Mm-hmm.
Young women are going the opposite way,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's gonna reverse itself with the young women.
Too,
yeah. If they want to meet a guy.
All right. Well, before we move on, I think I'm going to do an impromptu comedy break here because we talked a whole lot about abortion and stuff. So before we get on to the next one, which is kind of the contrary to the abortion, but let's do a little comedy break. Okay. I think we need to listen to this. Did you know Freedom Tunes is back?
I didn't know it was gone.
Me either. But I did see something come across my feed, and I went on their site. It looks like in the last couple months, it looks like you took a hiatus, maybe, or something. I'm not going on. Seamus is the guy's name.
Yeah,
Freedom Tunes used to be on Tim Pool all the time.
Mm-hmm. You know what he did a short while ago? Probably, maybe he's been gone because of this, but he did a Kickstarter campaign to start funding his own 30-minute type of cartoons instead of those quick 2-3 minute cartoons. Yeah. And he reached his goal, which was I think $1 million or something like that.
Okay.
And he might have been producing that right at this point.
Yeah, have to check that out then. Now I vaguely remember something like that. Well, here's one I thought was fitting to some of the common themes that we talk about here, some of the problems we have in this country. And this is Freedom Tunes skit. This is a short little skit that he does mostly by himself, and as far as the voices and everything. But this is Freedom Tunes. This is 1950s reacting to 2026, the future of 2026. We come in the middle of this, but you'll see where I'm going with it.
Here's another wild tale. In the same future, you can travel on an incredible flying machine that soars through the skies. Ooh. But you have to let them rub you all over your body before you can go on the flying machine. All over your body.
Why would you have to let them rub all over your body?
Because Mohammedans wish to crash the flying machines into buildings.
So they only rub Mohammedans?
No, they would get in trouble if they did that.
Why would they get in trouble if they rub Mohammedans, but not if they rub me?
Because in the future, they hate racism.
What is racism?
It's when you treat someone differently because of their skin color. To avoid it, you're required to treat people with certain skin colors like they're incapable of doing wrong.
Lazy writing, too many plot holes. Yes, even the most insane despot would never govern with such mad policy. Yes, and the subjects would revolt if they did.
Oh no, in this future, every Western nation is a democracy.
Wait for it.
Huh? We're to believe the people choose this.
That lets women vote.
Oh. Okay, the whole thing makes sense now.
Yep, whole thing makes sense now. I totally believe it. Yep, totally believe it.
That's a good one.
I figured after a couple abortion stories, you can use that, a chuckle from Freedom Tunes. See what else comes out of there in the near future. He was always good for a laugh. So next story we have is First Year Cleveland, a group, nonprofit, I believe, from First Year Cleveland will share $1.8 million with local groups to prevent infant deaths. Yeah. Thinking, can the two groups work together? I mean, or would that be would they, I don't know. There's got to be some kind of correlation here, So First Year is a nonprofit focused on maternal and children's health. We'll use a $1.8 million from the Ohio Department of Children and Youth to support families to tackle persistently high infant mortality rate in Cuyahoga County. Apparently, Cuyahoga County faces alarming infant mortality rates between 2022 and 2024 of roughly 8 in every 1,000 babies died before their first year. You know what? I didn't look up what's the national average. Let's see. First, Black infants remain at the highest risk with a death rate of more than 3 times that of white infants, while Hispanic infants' mortality has recently begun to climb. Yeah. They get here in our culture long enough, and according to Cuyahoga County Board of Health, poverty and maternal health are majority contributing factors, officials say. So they're going to take some money, I guess, education. Is that going to help?
What was the rate?
8 in every 1,000 in Cuyahoga County.
National is 5.6.
Wow. Yeah, that's a significant.
That's quite a bit more, yeah.
Yeah. Why? It's like, I don't know. Why is it? What's so special about Cuyahoga County that makes it higher? I don't know. But they're going to spend money to save the infants. And right after Planned Parenthood's going to try to kill. I don't know. It's very confusing to me. But yep. So this is a good thing. I mean, why is it 1 in 8? 8 in 1,000 rather. 1 in 8. Oh no, we don't do that. That's crazy. Good question. Does not really even get to it. I don't think they even give you a reason in here. Just basically poverty and lack of education and maternity health.
I'm looking at here what Grok found.
Yeah.
There's a lot of premature, low birth weight babies, which means I would think that's mainly from poverty, or I would say drug use too.
Drug use is a big part of it, but even just malnutrition because they're young. They don't know. They don't care. Maybe, there's that whole thing. There's so much learned over the years for pregnant women and what they eat, what they shouldn't eat. If you don't have much of that, you can have maybe a higher rate of this.
I'm kind of
right out of my butt.
You know what? I'm gonna hang on.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Hanging on, just like the little kitty in the poster.
Go ahead. You could talk. Let me.
I can't.
Do a
crap!
Quick search. You can talk.
It was coffee time. I thought I was going to sip. I thought you had something very enthusiastic talk about infant health, but no, apparently not. So initiative comes as Cuyahoga County continues to face an alarming infant rate, like we talked about.
Okay, so we have
pieces. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we have basically the same rate as Chicago.
Oof.
Which I think that rate, the national rate, is going to be a lot lower, mainly. But when you get into a metropolitan area, it's going to be higher.
I was getting to blaming Cleveland in a minute.
Yeah. Well, it's just inner city.
Yeah. Inner city poverty, and you can have less of everything, and I don't know. The education on food health is horrible in this country, so that makes sense that it would contribute to low birth rates, because if you're eating nothing but crap while you're pregnant, your baby's probably not going to be very healthy, I would think. Or I don't know. What do I know? So there's that. That's good news. We'll see what comes up, if anything, and hopefully we can get that 1 in 8 down a little bit. Kind of be nice. Really good for the babies. It's considering the national birth rate's already tanking. We're going to check all these off. Yep. Okay. National nonprofit infant. Okay. Next one. Last one on our main list of stories is Akron. Akron has decided they need to cut their budget, Tom.
I saw this. I nearly fell over.
Yeah. And some of the reasons why is why I kind of pulled the story, because it rings some familiarity here to some of the stuff we talked about. But I just want to, they're cutting their budget to $785 million, but it's still $10 million more than they're bringing in.
Well,
that's what it shows in here.
It's moving in the right direction, Rob.
Yes, it is. I mean, it is help. You're helping, but it's like, so let's see if we can pinpoint, kind of the similarities between Cuyahoga County and Akron. And really, whenever I hear this guy, I think, who voted for this guy?
Oh,
the low T just continues to surprise me.
Yeah,
this guy. Here we go. Akron's budget cuts.
None of us would like to be in a situation where we're forced to make tough decisions. I think, frankly, these are things that we are certainly up to the task of this.
Akron Mayor Shamus Malik says some city workers could see job cuts and overtime reductions under his administration's proposed 2026 operating budget. He laid out the plan during a meeting on Monday.
We have to be as disciplined as possible.
Malik is proposing cutting nearly $14 million from last year's spending, bringing the budget to about $785 million. The plan also calls for a more focused approach to hiring, prioritizing only, quote, mission-critical vacancies. So far, 35 full-time positions have been eliminated through attrition, saving the city an estimated $3.5 million a year in wages and benefits.
This is something that we are going to give a little bit more scrutiny to those positions this year than we have in years past.
The policy does not apply to sworn police or fire positions. However,
overtime in both safety forces have increased dramatically since 2020.
The city is also working to reduce overtime in both the police and fire departments. The mayor says early fire department reforms have already saved more than $90,000 in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
With about $2.5 million in projected annual savings.
2 weeks.
And the police department is expected to cut roughly $2 million in overtime in 2026.
The overtime levels that we're seeing are unsustainable. I think now we really have to control these costs.
Oh, now you do.
You know what I noticed was the overtime drastically increased in 2020. And you know what? They just kept going. Like it didn't go back. I'm sure some guys maybe weren't working, so they needed to add overtime, or people were sick. Maybe you know back then you had to take the 2 weeks off or whatever it was if you got COVID. And maybe that's why there was more overtime. But they just never dropped it, man.
And what's happening now, I think, is the PPP money, the COVID money, is running out.
Okay, yeah,
that's what I think. They don't say it in any of these things, but I mean, a lot of cities just had this sitting in the bank. Cuyahoga County being one of them, because remember, one of our first stories we covered was the new jail for Cuyahoga County Jail. They spent almost $40 million from COVID money to buy the land before it was even approved by the city or the county, rather. I think they were subsidizing all this overtime with COVID money, and now that's kind of running out. I don't. That's just a guess of mine. It just feels.
You would think you would stop after 2020 when you didn't really need the overtime anymore.
I mean, I can't say that. I mean, Akron probably could use a few more cops, but again, we go back to the same story as Cuyahoga County and going, more cops are better than the same cops for longer.
Well, yeah.
So.
I don't mind a cop working some overtime, but I mean, if they're working double shifts, I'm not sure if I want that guy to come to my house when I need their help.
Yeah, after hour 73 of his 80-hour week.
They're cranky dealing with all those idiots anyways. Imagine if you're doing that 16 hours a day instead of 8 or 10.
Right. So, hey, everybody's kind of hitting. It's almost like they're all kind of doing the same thing, same shady stuff. And I guess I'm not saying the cops are necessarily doing anything, but I think they do take advantage of it. I mean, shoot.
Of course.
Everybody would.
Yeah, you're filling your wallet up.
I don't put there, but as long as they're actually working, that's where I draw the line. Don't be. But if there's a lack of officers, firefighters, hey, I get it. You roll up on a scene and you're 3 hours away from your shift ending, but this is going to take you the rest of the night. You stay. I mean, what are you supposed to do? That kind of stuff happens. And same thing on but it has to be reined in, and the best way to rein it in is not having enough money. Starve the animals. Starve the beast. So there's that. Next, I think we'll keep moving on to the last segment.
We bring good things to life.
Got a couple quick ones here. First, we got Vietnam Travel Memorials coming to Ohio. It's the only stop in Ohio in 2026. I didn't even know they had this. Did you know they had something like this?
I had no idea.
So apparently they have a wall, a replica of the Vietnam Memorial that travels around the country. And this year it's going to stop in Ottawa County. And it's set to, in the spring during America's 250th anniversary celebration. It's going to be a big year for summertime parties and stuff. 250 years. Lots of things going boom. Basically, a 3/5 scale replica of the Vietnam Memorial will be displayed at Lakeside, Chattanooga. That's not Chattanooga, but alongside the lakefront near the hotel. Chautauqua, yeah, I was getting there. On March, it clicked on me as soon as I went past it. I'm like, that's Chautauqua, isn't it? March 3rd, news releases say. Excuse me. Appears to be the only stop in Ohio, as they said, 300 foot long in length, with names of 58,000 U.S. service members who died in the Vietnam police action etched into its surface. And they're looking for some volunteers. So if you're interested, check out the story. And you can get in touch with them. They got websites and all that information for to help out and to where to go to see it and all the information. One of the things I did not go to in my one trip to Washington, D.C. was the Vietnam Memorial. I had limited time, so I went with the founding fathers instead of I went with the beginning instead of the the stuff that'll make you Vietnam and Hiroshima and those kind of, or Iwo Jima. I didn't see any of those yet, but on the next trip I'll see it. But I heard it's pretty moving when you see the wall, especially in full size one. Check this one out. If you want to help, let them know. Next, we have Cleveland, Cleveland basically. Cleveland, I have beers in there, but I think it's more like Cleveland breweries are on a top 10 list. And, and then I started reading into it. I'm like, wow, it is a USA Today top 10 list, which is kind of all they do is top 10 lists, I think. But 10, they're on the Cleveland craft breweries represented on USA Today's 10 best list of 2026. Now, none of them got like best beer. They're all like kind of side categories. So
yeah, well, actually, it's cool that Great Lakes Brewing got best brewery. Oh, they just had. Never mind.
Yep,
they won for best brewery tour.
Best brewery tour. Yeah, number 4. Okay. They didn't even win it. They got number 4. Or did they win it?
They got 4.
Yeah, and then. Let's see, best. And then there was one, Port Clinton's Twin Oast Brewing landed at number 4 on the list of the 10 best beer gardens. They check them out. I haven't heard that one before on Lake Erie in Catawba.
Well, obviously their beer's not that good. Why would you hear about it?
You Cleveland.com, you suck. And then I was reading it this morning and now I can't. So they had best brewing tour, and I think the one I wanted to bring up was Fatheads. They had best label for Bumbleberry.
They got number 2.
Yeah, number 2 for Fatheads Bumbleberry label. So that was pretty cool. So good to see little breweries, and I think Port Clinton is a stretch for Cleveland breweries. To be honest with you, it's kind of far out of Cleveland. But hey, whatever. Northern Ohio, it's all good. So. Just a reminder, visit your local breweries or not local breweries, because they could always use your help consuming some of their product. Next, we'll touch, because it's that time of year, and then I think next week is St. Patrick's Day. And it is the Cleveland St. Patrick's Day 2026 parade route is set.
Ooh, this is where you can puke.
Mm-hmm. Green beer. If you choose, you can puke green beer. It's the only time. It's the time of the year that everybody is okay with polluting the water in Chicago with green dye. It's okay. I always thought that was weird. So they get the parade route set. They're celebrating this year's theme is celebrating 250 years of Irish American contributions to the land of the free. And yes, there's my people, right? Some of my people. We celebrate 250 years of just getting drunk and beating each other up in bars. That's basically, that's what we do. That's what we're best at.
And eating potatoes.
Eating potatoes. Tasteless, plain potatoes. If you're planning to drink St. Patrick's Day, the Ohio Liquor Control wants you to celebrate responsibly. Partner with Lyft for a $15 voucher if you're going down to the parade. Yeah, you can only wait like 3 or 4 hours for that Lyft. But yeah, check out the parade route if you're interested. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but
you know what? Let me take a look real quick here.
It doesn't matter. Just if the colder it gets, the more you have to drink. You won't feel it. It's
it was always. I mean, I went down there a few times when I was a young man. If the weather was nice, it's gonna. Ooh,
yeah. I think it's.
Sorry, guys. It's gonna be 27 that day.
27 and snowing possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only those are the days you go to the parade because there's less people there.
And more beer.
Yeah. So that's that. I guess check out the parade route if you want to go. There's got all the information there. And subscribe to the show. Tell your friends. Leave a comment. Check out the blog post every Monday when the show drops. Give us some feedback. And if you got any shenanigans in your area, let us know. We always want to hear about that. And I guess just thank you for the last year. I mean, we've learned a lot in this last year. I think mostly what I've learned is I have a lot to learn. And anything that you want to say, Tom, to listeners besides, listen more, subscribe.
Tell everybody you know. Okay. Why did I whisper?
I'm not sure because
I was doing a Joe Biden.
Oh, come on, man. So, yeah, but thank you for listening. Go ahead. You're going to say something. I know.
No. Thank you for listening. Love you all.
Yes.
And tell everybody you know, because we can use a few more of you.
Yes, we need from just starting to grow and get some traction, and we could use more and get some feedback from listeners. We love it. So once again, share the show, subscribe, let us know what you think. Crookedrivercast.com, and thank you for listening. See you next week.
Peace.